Hello and welcome back to ZK1 Plays. I'm so glad that you've joined me today. Today we're going to be breaking down this brand new, amazing looking Mega Pokemon, one of the Mega Kalos starters, Mega Chesnaught. Let's get right into it. As always, a like, comment, subscription, all the above really goes a long way to help my small channel out as I'm trying to grow to 1,000 subscribers. So please do it. Subscribe if you can. Share this video with a friend. It'll go a long way. But now let's get right into it with Mega Chesnaught, which is a really neat looking Mega Pokemon that was just revealed last week in the Nintendo Direct. And yeah, Chesnaught, if you didn't know, is one of my favorite starters from over the years. Really love the way this thing looks. I think they nailed the Mega design. A more armored, it kind of reminds me of like a samurai look almost, without the swordplay aspect of it. But hulking armor, beautiful headpiece, the cloak flowing behind. It's going to be really neat. I wanted to point out this page though before we get into it. I like to talk about abilities, stats, and shiny forms in these videos. So before we get into all of that, I just want to look at these little text box because it's really interesting. Mega Chesnaught, its hardened armor boasts high defensive capabilities. Makes sense, right? Looks like big shields up on his shoulders. Down here it says a hardened outer shell greatly bolsters its defenses. And then this side says its shield-like shoulder armor transforms into a destructive weapon. I thought this was really interesting. It can rip off its shoulder and use it as an axe. And it says down here he has to use it two-handed because even Mega Chesnaught is not quite strong enough to wield it one-handed. So this is a really neat-looking Pokemon. So let's speculate a little bit about it. Mega Chesnaught has, I would say Chesnaught has the ability Bulletproof as a hidden ability. See right here? And that same ability goes to a few other Pokemon. Some Pokemon use this ability better than others. You can see the abilities here, the moves here that it blocks. And, it just kind of is a toss-up. But it does block quite a few grass moves, quite a few rock moves, and quite a few poison moves. And so if you have weaknesses to those things, like, Chesnaught has a big weakness to poison, right? So Sludge Bomb being completely blocked is actually a really pretty big deal, and it may come up sometimes. However, I do not expect the new Pokemon Mega Chesnaught to stick with Bulletproof. There's a couple reasons why. One of the reasons has to do with all this information we just read about it having such massive armor, big shields on its shoulders, and the ability to turn its shoulder shields into an axe. One thing that came to my mind right away was something to do with the armor. An ability like this, Battle Armor. Now, a lot of these Pokemon that get it are more like Bug or Steel types, right? But the reason I thought of Battle Armor is because, that's basically what Mega Chesnaught looks like he's wearing, right? Like he's put on shields and this cloak, and he's wearing Battle Armor. And, preventing him from receiving any critical hits, that would be an incredible ability on a tankier Pokemon, which we're expecting Mega Chesnaught to be. So, that's not bad. This one would definitely not be overpowered, but it would be decent, and I would think it would be an upgrade for sure from the normal ability of Bulletproof. And then I also wanted to mention, too, with the ability, one more that I had an idea for, and I do not think that this is what's going to be, but this ability from Aegislash has never been used on another Pokemon. But what it does is it changes the Pokemon's stats based on which form it's in, okay? And so, using the move King Shield puts it back to Shield form, and then using any attack puts it in Blade form. In Blade form, it gets Mega, a boost to its damages, like its damage dealing stats. And then in Shield form, it gets a lot of boost to its defensive stats. Now, obviously, I don't really think this would necessarily be the exact ability, but something like this, where, it has the ability to switch to attacking with the axe or having the shields on its shoulders in a more defensive stance, could be really cool for Mega Chesnaught. One more thing, though, in remembering that Mega Chesnaught, Chesnaught himself gets Belly Drum and also gets Grassy Glide, giving this Pokemon Grassy Surge as an ability, which I'm sure many of us are familiar with. It's the same ability that Rillaboom gets, right? And Tapu Bulu. So Grassy Surge, setting the grassy terrain, making it where your Chesnaught could use priority grass type moves in grassy terrain, or even just have boosted grass type moves, would make Mega Chesnaught a big force to be reckoned with. However, I don't think they'll do this because Rillaboom kind of fits this niche, And I don't think they're looking to outclass Rillaboom this quickly. And Rillaboom is one of the best Pokemon in the game. So putting Mega Chesnaught in the same role would just make him that much better, probably. You know, I mean, obviously he wouldn't be able to hold an item, but it could make him really, really good. All right, let's get into the Pokemon's stats now, okay? And the first thing that I want to point out here is regular Chesnaught's stats. They're coming on screen now, and you can see, again, I've had so much fun looking back at these old Kalos starters stats because, you know, Chesnaught does not have a bad list of stats here. His stats are actually pretty decent in my opinion, and yeah, I've enjoyed kind of remembering what he's all about. So his HP, his attack, his defense are his highest stats, and then of course special side and speed are lacking a little bit. The speed, however, is in a weird tier where it's just not quite slow enough to be an amazing Trick Room user, but its defense is definitely nothing to be scoffed at. Now, as they grow and change, you can see kind of the way that I've distributed the stats. The way that Mega Pokemon normally work is that you give them 100 new stats, and nothing goes in the HP stat because, you know, that's just never been really increased by a Mega Evolution. So, attack going up to 135, defense up to 169, kind of similar to what we had on the special attack for Delphox, right? Special attack only increasing by 10, and then special defense only increasing by 20. And then you can see here on the speed stat, I decreased it by 5. Now, there have not been too many Mega Evolutions that have decreased the speed stat, but I'm thinking this would be an amazing one to do. And please, Game Freak, I would love to see this happen. And the reason is this. At 59 base speed, Chesnaught could guaranteed underspeed Incineroar in Trick Room. And that is an amazing little factoid because Incineroar is such a popular Pokemon. Being able to be in Trick Room and either, you know, Drain Punch or use any kind of fighting type stab against Incineroar would just be amazing. And what a great niche for this Pokemon. Another thing about underspeeding Incineroar would be being able to take a Flare Blitz with your high defense stat and then hit back with a Drain Punch and gain a bunch of HP back. Could be really, really cool. I'm excited about the possibility of that. But yes, increasing the defense just way off the chart. The attack up to a very respectable level. Now, again, remembering Mega Pokemon are not allowed to hold items, and so, you know, Chesnaught's 135 base attack is awesome, but it wouldn't necessarily be broken because he couldn't have a choice band or a life orb or anything like that. But with a belly drum, he could be really, really tight. The HP with the defense is going to be one of the, you know, tankiest physical Pokemon in the game, and it would just, I mean, this would be hard to break through on the physical side. You would almost have to hit it on the special side, but 95 is not terrible either on the special side. So yeah, I could see this being a really, really strong stat spread. It honestly might be too strong now that I'm looking at it to give to a Pokemon like this. And then finally, the shiny forms. I've designed a few here, just kind of editing the color palettes and seeing what I think would be best. So as they pop on the screen, the top left is, of course, the regular Chesnaught form. The top right is one that is very, very similar to the regular shiny Chesnaught. And so this one, to me, it makes me go, okay, this will probably be what they go with, something like this, you know, with the orange coming back into the design, the dark brown around the limbs, and then there was like some light tan on the beard and stuff. Yeah, I think this definitely could be what they go with. But you can see I did a couple of other palette swaps here. The bottom left being one based off its regular shiny form, but with more of like a fall, you know, dying leaves kind of color palette. And then the bottom right being one that leans more into the grass green, keeping all of the white and ivory look to all of the, you know, the shields and the armor and stuff. Yeah, and I really liked the brown cloak on the bottom right. It gives it, again, kind of a, you know, early autumn feel to it. But again, most likely is they're going to change the white armor back to the green coloration from regular shiny Chesnaught, and it'll look like this top right one. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and, you know, helped me to just get my thoughts out. I'm gushing over this Mega Chesnaught Pokemon because he's, again, one of my favorites. It's funny, I'm about to make a shiny guide for how to find a shiny Chespin. And I've already got like 3 or 4 of them because I was looking for one with a title whenever I first had the ability to hunt for this one because, again, one of my favorites. So stay tuned for that coming out later today. And other than that, thanks so much for watching Ziggy1 Plays. Keep it tuned here for more guides like this coming out very soon. And yeah, thanks for checking out my channel. Peace out.